Hello everybody, in this video we will speak about the third group of batch flower essences, not sufficient interest in present circumstances. This group includes 7 remedies: Clematis, Honeysuckle, Olive, Wild Rose, White Chestnut, Mustard and Chestnut Bud. And all these essences deal with states that hinder us to concentrate fully on our present problem. For example, this girl, we can call her Jane, prepares for her exam. And under optimal conditions, she would concentrate on the study material only. But she may, for example, fly in her fantasies to some holiday or to her imaginary boyfriend, or she can build air castles in her mind instead of studying, or she may just disconnect from the reality. And this is the theme of Clematis. She may also return to her granny she has liked a lot, and although her granny has died many years ago, she still misses her, and she remembers the moments when they were together and these happy moments. Or she may just resign. Even when the situation is solvable, she gives up and doesn't invest the energy. She takes it as it is. Or she may be already exhausted by previous studies, by previous difficult exam, and she has no energy to work anymore. Her thoughts may run over and over, and they do not deal with the present problem, but they annoy her and she cannot stop them. And they divert her from her work, or she cannot sleep or have a rest because of these annoying thoughts. It's white chestnut. Or she may have some gloomy thoughts, gloomy mood. She feels no joy in her life, and even when there is no clear cause for that, she's unhappy. It's mustard. Or she may learn and learn, but in fact she doesn't take enough from her studies. She makes the same mistake over and over. So let's start with Clematis. Clematis easily loses contact with the reality and escapes away in the thoughts, in fantasies. You can observe it that she speaks with you and suddenly she loses the sentence. She interrupts the sentence and she doesn't know how to continue, or she doesn't answer to your question. Physically, she may easily faint or lose consciousness, and that is why it is also included in crisis essence for acute state. We can compare Clematis with other remedies from not sufficient interest group, like Wild Rose. There is resignation without clear cause, but there is not a disconnection from the reality. Olive, that is exhausted so that she may disconnect also because she has no energy anymore. Star of Bethlehem, that is in a state of shock, of paralyzed emotions, and Water Violet, that's distant emotionally. Honeysuckle, people in a honeysuckle state return to the past, and they live more in the past than in present. For example, it's a typical situation is it is one of the most frequently used remedies after a death of some dear person, and these people often keep the room of the deceased in the same state as it has been when their loved has been still alive. And sometimes it maybe it's not because somebody died, but it's because some ambition, some desire won't be fulfilled in the future. For example, a woman that wishes to have a baby, but she is already 40 and she's aware of the fact she has no stable partner, and she is afraid that she will never have any child anymore. Or after some important life changes, when something is lost forever, like after moving, it's a frequent remedy for homesickness, by the way. When children go to the kindergarten, and it may be useful for both the children and the mother. During and after menopause, because also some part of the life ends. After retirement, after divorce, after children leave home, or when a serious disease is diagnosed in themselves or in their dear persons, or in dying people that balance their life, and they discover that there are many things that haven't been fulfilled. We can compare honeysuckle with red chestnut. Red chestnut is about fear for the others. Chicory, the main theme of chicory is mother love, and they manipulate the other people to keep them at home, to gain their attention, and sometimes there may be a sort of sadness, but here it's more an manipulation. Star of Bethlehem is another remedy for after a death of a dear person. There is a shock after sudden loss or bad news. And willow is somewhat similar sometimes to honeysuckle, because these people seem sad, but the reason is that they feel embittered because some injustice or ill fate. Wild rose. There is a theme of resignation without sufficient cause. You can see that there is some problem that should be dealt with, but they do not invest sufficient energy. They just take it as it is. And they do not feel well, but they do not feel hopeless, like, for example, in gorse. And we can compare wild rose with gorse. Gorse feels hopeless and despair. Large, that is passive because of lack of self-confidence. And Clematis, that escapes into daydreaming and doesn't really deal with the problems because he is distant, he is somewhere else in his mind. Olive for physical or mental exhaustion after some difficult period. There is usually some moment, some episode, some period that started it, that provoked it, like protracted disease or taking care of some relative seriously ill, or so on. And these people are usually better after some sleep, but then they feel quickly tired again. So that's the difference from hornbeam, because hornbeam is tired even after sleep in the morning, but during the day he may feel better. And after some invigorating activities like speaking with friends, going to cafe, or doing some sports, he may even feel better than in the morning. Clematis is naturally low energetic, and he disconnects from the reality. And gentian is another remedy for prolonged convalescence after some serious disease. In gentian, there are alternations of getting better and worse, and in olive, it's protracted exhaustion. And it's white chestnut, annoying thoughts that whirl in circles and do not solve the problem, but they annoy all the time, and the patient cannot stop them. And this can lead, it's usually worse when the mind doesn't have much to do, for example, when the patient has rest or wants to sleep. So it can lead to sleeplessness. It's one of the most frequently used remedies for sleeplessness. We can compare white chestnut with vervain. Vervain has also a rush of thoughts, but these thoughts are excited, inspiring, or exasperated. Mimulus has a fear of concrete things, and white chestnut also sometimes has worrying thoughts that circle. Red chestnut has fear for others. Again, white chestnut can have worrying thoughts about the other people. And clematis, that is daydreaming, and these thoughts also are whirling, wandering, but there is not this going in circles. Mustard. Mustard simply lost the joy of life and the happiness, and everything seems gray and or black and without any color, and there is often no real cause. They speak that their family life is fine and work is fine, but they feel badly, and it may be connected sometimes with a period of year. For example, in autumn, it's probably connected with lack of daylight. And we can compare mustard with gentian, that is discouraged by repeated failures. Gorse, that feels hopeless in a difficult situation and doesn't invest the energy to change it. And sweet chestnut, there is utter despair caused by some situation where there is an unavoidable change, and the patient tries to keep it in, but there is no chance for that. And finally, chestnut bud is for people that repeat the mistake over and over. For example, they may have similar unsatisfactory relationships, and as soon as they stop one relationship and they know what's wrong there, they start another relationship with a similar partner. Or they may repeatedly fail at the exams, making similar mistakes, or they may get into similar conflicting situations, or stumble over the same step, or they may also have some problems physical. For example, they overwork, get migraine, take over the work of somebody else, and then they feel tired and have, for example, backache. And they do not take enough time to learn, and they make another attempt as soon as possible. We can compare chestnut bud with gentian. There is also this repetitive pattern, but in gentian they feel discouraged, but chestnut bud just repeats the same mistake. So still once, Clematis escapes from reality into dreams and fantasies. Honeysuckle escapes into the past. Olive is exhausted after a long-lasting stress. Wild Rose resigns without a sufficient cause. White Chestnut has annoying thoughts that whirl over and over and he cannot stop them. Mustard lost joy in his life and everything seems dark and cold. And Chestnut Bud repeats the same mistake over and over. So, thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. And in the next video we will speak about the fourth group of Bach flower essences, about loneliness.